they're dehydrated and they don't understand. If you start feeling dizzy or if you all of a sudden get a headache, usually headaches are a sign that you're dehydrated. So please, you have to drink plenty of water, and so that you're able to drive your car or or walk or whatever. So make sure you drink plenty of water. There's an organization in Austin, in the Austin area, that's giving away box fans in case you have a home without air conditioning. There's a place in Austin, and I'm going to give you the information here. It's called the Summer Fan Drive, and what they do is they hand out fans for free to people. Um, the You can call them. Their hotline is 512-459-4326. I'll give that number to you again in a few seconds. And you call them up, and they have events where they give out these boxes of fans to people who can't afford to buy them. So please go get yourself a box fan. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're able to donate anything, if you're able to donate fans to them, they appreciate that also. Their address is 1700 Rutherford Lane. That's 1700 Rutherford Lane in Austin, Texas, 78754. And their phone number again, I've got two numbers for them. One is 512 I'm sorry, let me start over. 512-459-4326. And the other number is 512-450-0844. Again, I'm going to give them to you one more time. 512-459-4326. The main office is 512-450-0844. And they will help you. And again, it's 1700 Rutherford Lane in Austin, Texas, 78754. And they will help you in getting you a fan so that so you don't die on us, because we need you. So give them a holler if you need help. I was thinking about this. I got pulled over yesterday and by DPS, which is Department of Public Safety in the state of Texas. And usually those officers are not very nice. They're usually very rude, very condescending. I don't know if they're teaching in that at the academy, but if you are, you're doing it wrong. You can't be mean to the people that are paying your salary, and that's the bottom line. You cannot be mean to the people that take care of you. This particular officer was very polite, very nice, didn't give me a hard time or anything. It was really cool. I believe his last name was Tejarina, Officer Tejarina, and he pulled me over on Highway 71. Super nice guy. And I meant to ask him, and I didn't get a chance to. Another friend of mine got pulled over not too long ago, and the officer gave him 3 tickets that were uncalled for. There was no reason to do that, but the officer did that. And I meant to ask the officer, and I want to go there when he takes it to court, because I want to ask the officer how much money he gets off of each ticket. And if he doesn't get money off each ticket, then why is he giving the tickets? Because, the public, which is us, the public, you're not making friends with the public when you're stealing their money. So we're not paying you to steal our money. We're paying you to serve and protect. And stealing our money is not on there. I've looked on the cars. I've looked in the policy books. Nowhere on there does it say steal the people that pay your salaries money. So please, if there are no quotas, as you guys say that there isn't, if there are no quotas, then stop giving out tickets. Have a little compassion for people. A lot of people are going through some tough times, And if you go out there and you take, a couple of hundred or $300 or $400 from somebody who can't afford it, well, you're taking that money away from their kids and their homes. And so, if you're an officer and you don't have a quota, please stop giving tickets. Simple. And maybe the public won't hate you so much if you start being nice to the people that pay you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about is in Texas, they're trying to pass this law that does away with property taxes. And what they're wanting to do, in case you're not familiar with this, what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to add a percentage more on your purchases. Like if you go and you buy a Coke and, instead of paying 8.25%, you'll be paying probably around 16%, 16 to 17% in taxes for that. And that will cover from people being charged property taxes. So I looked into a little bit about the property tax situation and how it works in the state of Texas. And in the state of Texas, if if your property taxes are due on January 1st, if you don't pay them by the 1st, and because you don't have money because times are tough for some people, then what they do is they'll add a penalty to you. So you can't pay the taxes because you're poor. So let's go ahead and, make it even harder for you. So that doesn't make sense to me. So doing the purchase, adding a little bit of taxes to your everyday purchases to cover property taxes, it makes sense to me. I don't know both sides, but it makes sense to me. And I forgot to turn my phone off. So I know somebody heard that. Now they're going to start going crazy on my phone. So anyway, today we're going to have a couple of guests today. And one of them, his name is Juan Gomez. And he wrote a book on how to be a good waiter. And it's an awesome book on how to be a waiter. And we also going to have Doug. I don't know Doug's last name. What's Doug's last name? Gray. Doug Gray. I call him Dougie. And he's our fearless leader. Super, super nice guy. And he's going to be here on the second part of the show. I'm going to move this over here for a second. And Juan, you guys have heard me talk about a restaurant called Jardín Corona on Highway 183. Used to be on Palm Springs Road. And they moved to Highway 183 because they needed more space, because their food is awesome, their drinks are awesome, and they've just grown like crazy because, it's basically a mom and pop operation that has grown like crazy. So Juan is here today to share his book with us that he wrote. Took him, I believe, 2 years to write this book, to put it all together. And here, I don't know if, are we going here or are we going here? I'm not sure what, that way? Okay, so we're going to focus here on this book real quick. I just wanted you guys to look at it. And this particular book, there it is. Oh, there we go. There it is. And it's by Juan Gomez. What's your middle initial? J. Yeah, Juan J. Gomez. And I want you kids to please give Mr. Gomez a friendly welcome to the show. So come on in, Juan. All right. Awesome to have you finally on the show.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. I'm going to put this right there. Here, I'll move my duckies. I'm not sure how we can we do it. Let me move this over a little bit. Let's see if that'll work better. Will that work better?
Yep. Yeah,
there we go. Do we have a glare on there, or are we good? Okay. So, Juan, tell me a little bit about what made you decide to write a book about. Well, tell me what is the book about?
The book is about how to be an excellent waiter and how to develop a vision of entrepreneur. So I wrote it. I had this vision back in 2020. I was reading a lot of self-development books on how to, how to good attitude, how to pursue entrepreneur skills.
Okay.
So I read a lot of books. I read a lot, and then I say, why don't you combine my skills of being a waiter and put all the knowledge into a book and make it useful for people. And then I went on Google and I couldn't find anything like how to be a good waiter. I was a little bit of material, a little bit of videos, because I want to learn how to be a better waiter. And in the beginning, I didn't know much about waiting tables, like how to hold a tray or how to present yourself in front of the customers, and all of that knowledge was not much on Google. So I say I'm going to write my own book and do my best and help other people who's been a waiter for a long time. And also there's a language barrier. Like people don't speak too much English, and I'm also going to contribute to that. And I spend a lot of time studying people, how they doing it, and research. I did a lot of research also about how to be an excellent waiter, and I just combine my personal experience from being a waiter, from research, and combine it with the personal development books that I read myself.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, how long did it take you to write this book?
It's probably 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
And I spent like 8 months with the publisher.
Okay. And like, did you just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to write a book? Or had you been planning it for years? Or
I had the vision when I was working in a restaurant, and I noticed that my skills, they were not very good. I was first, when they put me on the floor at this place, Jardín Corona, and this lady requested for a wine, and I didn't know what's the Chardonnay, or should I bring what the type of wine. So I brought the red wine. The lady, that's not what I ordered. And I noticed that I have an issue there. I need to learn not only how to be an excellent waiter, but there's it's a whole lot of skills that you need, a set of skills that you learn as you go for being a waiter, a waitress out in the industry of waiting tables.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I actually have known, I don't know him as Juan. I know him as Boom Chakalaka because I don't know how that started, but when I started going to that restaurant, which was almost 20 years ago,
right?
I guess, almost 20 years ago, I never knew his name. I just knew him as Boom Chakalaka. So, and I'm not sure how that started or anything, but he's been our waiter. You know, every time I go there, I try to get him as a waiter. My schedule is so messed up that sometimes I go early, sometimes I go late, and if he's there, I always ask for him. So, and they know you as Boom Chakalaka anyway.
Yeah, I had a lot of regulars at the time, and I tried to do as my best as working as a waiter, and that helped me develop a wallet of regulars. I had a lot of regulars, more probably than other waiters.
Yeah.
So people come and ask for me, and I noticed that people like how I served them, how I did my job, and I had a charisma. And I still have charisma, and I help doing my best with people, and I pay attention. I was just not to there make tips, but also I was there to helping with the whole process, create a good experience from the time you walked in the door or the time you leave. I was there to make sure the customers were happy with my experience. And that's what took me to wrote a book on how to be an excellent waiter. I still got to translate it to English.
Yeah.
But as soon as I became published, I started working on more books. So that's I didn't have time to translate.
Well, I mean, they have AI, artificial intelligence now, that could translate that in, probably 10 seconds or something like that, 15, maybe 5 minutes or something. I don't know. It's crazy what AI is doing. But so let's find out a little bit about Juan. Where are you from?
Mexico.
But where in Mexico?
Like south, Estado de Mexico. Like south of Mexico.
Like the DF?
Close to the capital.
Near Mexico City?
Yep.
Okay.
Near Mexico City.
So when did you... Well, first I want to ask one question, because we were talking about the restaurant. I want to tell you guys about this restaurant. Super nice people. Jardín Corona. You guys used to be on Palm Springs, and you're not there anymore, right?
No, we moved to a new location. We expanded.
Yeah. And what is the address of the new location? Do you know?
I think it's 1333 Research Boulevard. Yep.
Okay, so
right off 183.
Yeah, so it's 1333 Research Boulevard in Austin, Texas. It's like in northwest part of Austin. Really, really nice restaurant. They have a dish there that I always get. It's called, my friend Diane actually named it, and you knew who Diane was. It's called Pechuga Jardín Corona, but she used to call it the chicken ball. And so there's a lot of people that go to that restaurant and they order the chicken ball, and they already know that, it's Pechuga Jardín Corona, and it's a delicious plate, man. If you ever get a chance to go out there, and you should, check it out. It's called Jardín Corona.
There you go.
And there's a picture right there of the front of the restaurant. And people are really nice. The Mexican martinis, you guys have heard me talk about them on the show, a million times.
Very popular.
Very, very popular.
Yeah.
But you have to be really careful, because it's a good idea to have a designated driver when you go have a Mexican martini there, because they are strong, and they will kick your butt. So yeah. So 1 will get you there. 2 will get you there and then some. So yeah. I used to go in there, and I think there used to be a limit. You could only have 4.
Yeah, it was like two martinis per person.
2 martinis per person. Yeah. So what I used to do, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do this, but what I used to do is I would go to the bar, and I'd have a couple of martinis, and then I'd go to the host, and I'd say, hey, I need to get a table for dinner, and then I'd get 2 more drinks brought to the table. So, but of course I always had a designated driver, so I didn't have to worry about that. At the time, when you were off Palm Springs Road, I actually lived maybe 3 blocks from the restaurant, maybe 4 blocks from the restaurant. So I would just walk there and then walk home. And how many years have you worked at Jardín Corona?
Probably like 10.
10 years?
A little over 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've known him for so long, and the twins, that they turned out not to be really twins, right? They weren't, but everybody thought they were twins because they looked so much alike, and they were about the same age. And so it's a mom and pop restaurant that their food is so good that it has just grown. And people love.
They have 4 locations now, and they expanded to Marble Falls.
Oh wow!
Leander, Cedar Park, and they're just all over the place.
So there's 4 locations in the Austin area, and now 1 in Marble Falls. So Marble Falls, that's a really pretty area up there.
Yep.
So So okay, so you really like working there because you're still there.
Yeah, I love being a waiter,
Uh-huh.
and now I reinvented my career as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I can do my being a waiter, but when I get time, I get to go work on my writings. And I also I find a new hobby, which before was soccer, but now a year ago started doing martial arts, Chinese kung fu,
Wow.
and that was a big part of me reading Bruce Lee.
Uh-huh.
I find this Wing Chun martial arts from China, and I really like. I have private classes on Sundays that I go to and teach me about kung fu classes and not only being a waiter. So I play soccer, I write books, and I practice kung fu. And so I'm just living the dream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you when you came to the U.S.?
I was probably 24,
24.
23. Yep.
And
Yep. Yeah, that's
what?
me doing
Oh, there you go. And
Yep.
what? Why did you decide to come to the U.S.?
The US, it's like the American dream. You come here and you're trying to accomplish and have a better financial growth and have an opportunity. What sometimes it's denied in your country. You don't make as much money.
Okay.
Even if you graduated from school, there's limitations, and you go work in a career field, but they don't pay you much.
Okay.
But coming here to the U.S. and you learn the language and you adapt, you grow, and it is a lot of opportunities. That's what they call it, the land of the free. And you can do many things here.
Right.
You can build your own business. You can have your own enterprise and just make good money.
Right. What? So you were how old? 20, 25?
23.
23? Okay. And did you come here by yourself? Or did the whole family came? Or
with the family.
the whole family came?
Yeah.
Okay. And to make that decision, how long did it take you to make that decision to come here?
It was a transition from like 3-4 years to coming here and
Okay.
yeah, get all the savings and just bring. You want to start somewhere, and it's a big change,
Right.
Because you don't know what you get into.
Right. And so, you came here, you started working, you've expanded to writing a book. You're working on writing another book, correct?
Yep.
And it's a children's book. This one, the
Yeah,
next one you're writing?
I'm working on a children's book. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Elon Musk.
he brought this book
Yeah, brought
to share.
I brought his book, Elon Musk. On 2020, that was I read the whole book, and then I'm like, oh, man, this is the story about Elon Musk. It's so great. He came from South Africa, Pretoria, and he started from nothing, and he was being bullied in school. He read so many books, Elon Musk, and I was just mesmerized by his story and how he become building rockets, how he came to the U.S. and started his career and became what is now living in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So I wrote a children's book inspired on that book and another biography that I have about him. And then at the end, I even wrote a Space Cadet Academy dedications because I was so much in love with the contribution to the humans by having a rocket so we can go to Mars.
Yeah.
And his vision of becoming multiplanetary species, that was just something that changed my life.
Right.
And when I was in school, I was being bullied at the same time. They called me E.T. from the movie.
Why did they call you E.T.?
E.T. Because I read books and I was like this and like thinking about all what I read.
Yeah.
And so, and I like E.T. so much, the extraterrestrial. That's what I'm talking about. So my students, my co-students, they call me E.T. the extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
And I I think we can go to Mars, and I share his vision, becoming multiplanetary species. And when I read his book, I became more aware of that we can go to Mars. That
Yeah.
it was all the changes. It's better for humans.
Right. Well, I personally think we're already on Mars. I know they said we sent rovers and stuff like that like 10 years ago or something like that.
Mhm.
But I personally think we're already there. I personally think we're already on other places other than Mars. I know that we have a lot of satellites and, what's that, the new telescope that Webb, James Webb is out there, and it's sending us back pictures that are insane. I just actually was reading about this last night. They have found this planet that is so huge. It's basically looks like a sun, but it's so huge and so far away that it's about the size of our galaxy, the size of our galaxy, or something like that. Because of this James Webb telescope that's going out into space, or is out in space, it's picking up so many different things that we never. It's crazy if you don't think there's other life on other planets, when there are. How many other galaxies do you think there are in the universe that so far?
Wow,
Just a guess.
Just like thousands.
Thousands? Actually, it's billions.
Billions?
Billions of galaxies. So, folks, there's no way that we can be the only people in the whole universe, or the only beings.
Yeah, we're not alone.
Yeah. So you need to, open your mind. Stop listening to the people that tell you, "Oh no, the Earth is only 4,000 years old," or no. If it's only 4,000, how come they're finding skeletons that are millions of years old? So something's not right. It's kind of like the old saying that there's
100 billion galaxies.
that there's no way there can be other life on other planets. Well, you haven't seen all the planets. You haven't been to all the planets. Just because we see, like Earth, there's a lot of clouds on Earth, and a lot of people, or not people, maybe beings from other planets will go, "Oh, well, there's nothing there. There's nothing but, puffy clouds or whatever." And they don't come here. But personally, I think that there are other planets. I mean, other beings from other planets here already. It's just my opinion. But one thing that I wanted to mention is that you came from Mexico, near the DF, and how often do you go back to visit, like, family, or do you still have family down there?
Yeah, but I don't go too often. The violence and the crime, it's increased in Mexico, and it's changed so much. So I don't visit.
So you don't visit as much.
Not as much.
So basically, you are an immigrant to the United States. So if you're not Native American, then you're an immigrant. So if you're out there and you're complaining about immigrants, then you need to look in the mirror, because if you're not Native American, then you are an immigrant. So stop complaining and start learning how to get along, because it's a lot easier to get along than to not get along. And you make a lot happy. You'll be a lot happier. So now, this children's book that you're writing now, or that you're working on now, do you have a name for it yet?
Yeah, it's called Mission 44, Interplanetary Travel.
And what is it going to be about?
It's about a kid who had the vision, goes to Mars. Basically, I had the vision when I went to dentist. Everybody was dressed up in white suits, and they have the acrylic mask.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like going into a spaceship right there, and they put you on a like a mode, and like kind of you're in space, and recliner seat, and it's like you having a helmet, but you're at the dentist. and that's how I had the vision about writing about Elon Musk sci-fi story. And then he wakes up and he realized that he's not in space, but instead he's a dentist.
Oh,
Yep.
nice, nice. And
Yeah.
so, and basically, the kid. Now, the kid in the book, is it going to be? Is his name going to be Elon?
No,
No?
I use Ralph.
Ralph?
Ralph, yeah.
Okay.
He's having a tooth extraction, so I guess it's in a trance mode that it's thinking in space. When he wakes up from the trance mode, there's a Space Oddity song by David Bowie, and he
Nice.
thinks on the he thinks that he's on space on the Tesla flying, but he's really on Earth with the humans. And then when he wakes up, and then he heard the voice from the dentist say, "Don't panic, you're not in space. You're on planet Earth."
Wow.
Yep.
Well, it sounds really, really cool.
Yep.
I think is that your wife
Yep.
and one of your kids?
Mm-hmm.
How many kids do you have?
One.
One,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Juanito.
Juanito.
All right, nice to meet you, Juanito, and nice to meet you, the missus.
Yeah.
So when do you think you're going to have the other book ready?
It's probably be like 2 or 3 months before I have it published, and it's gonna be in English and Spanish. So
Awesome.
So I can go to read it in English or in Spanish for people who's dual language taken in school, dual language speakers, like high school kids. Not so much for little ones, because the language I use, it's kind of advanced on communications and a lot of space travel. So it's not for 6 or 5 age.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I have a little part of the Space Cadet Academy dedication. Okay. I don't know if I can play it here.
Yeah, try it. See if you can get going.
Sure. See if I can loud.
Let's blow Tyrone's ears.
Yep.
So what he's going to do is he's going to play a clip. I wanted to show the back of the book because I have this feeling somebody out there is sending me energy saying, "Show me the back of the book." And there's a picture of Juan.
Yeah, it's about the author, and the publisher, it's called Fulton Books.
Fulton Books.
Fulton Books.
And where can you buy this book?
The book, it's currently on Amazon and big publishers, and you can just get it and they deliver it to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is, folks. If you want to purchase this book and you want to help somebody who came to this country to live the American dream and is doing it, please purchase this book. You can get it on Amazon, and super nice guy. Like I said, I've known him for many, many years, and he has put up with me at the restaurant having more than 2 Mexican martinis. Now you got to remember that the Mexican martinis that they serve there, they give you a big shaker glass thing.
Yeah,
and then the little glass.
Yeah, like little one like this one.
Kind of like this, but a lot, smaller for the amateurs. And so you get like 2-3 drinks out of one little shaker glass. So if you do get a chance, you got to go down there. It's called Jardín Corona restaurant. So did you find the?
I think I did.
Okay. And tell me what we're going to listen to.
We're going to listen to the my next book on Elon Musk children's book, which is called Mission Mars Interplanetary Travel that I wrote. I've been working on for a year and working like 6 months now with the publisher.
Okay.
Yep. So we're going to listen to the dedication to the Space Cadet Academy.
Okay.
So I listen a part of that's my favorite part that I want to share.
Okay. So we're going to share something, and I'm going to try to turn this volume up. How do I turn this thing?
To the Space Cadet Academy.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
From the citizens of the planet Earth to the very first colonizers of Mars, the resident of the moon, we the people stand beyond your cause and efforts of dedicated minds in the strive to extend the human consciousness to a multiplanetary species, in the search to seek out new life and new civilizations, and to boldly go where no one has gone before. Deep in the horizon of the infinite galaxy of the universe, among the stars, we saw a human face in the quest for a mission bigger than himself, traveling in a starship along the empty hospice of the curvature of the space, moving in a greater speed in space and time, faster than lightning, floating in a most peculiar way, silent like a kite riding the winds at 25 times the speed of sound. He had taken a calculated risk in pursuit of his imagination, in pursuit of space exploration. Now he had pulled the rabbit out his helmet, casting a new mold for his generation. His nature had transcended drastically from holding a prehistoric hand-axe tool to a flying vessel with the most sophisticated tech and telemetry instruments of aeronautics he never dreamed of. We knew right then he belonged among the stars, and once and for all, he was answering the call on his head and silenced the words of space as the last frontier. Only then, he felt a sense of liberation within him that became permanent. But the moment he lost sight of his cause of existence, the voice will appear, left and right, to remain unsettled.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And that was read through artificial intelligence.
He
You're
was.
right. So
AI.
there's actually, is this thing heavy?
Not really.
He actually brought a speaker.
Yeah.
Can you see the speaker? He actually brought a speaker because he wanted to share that story with you guys. Now, is that story out of this book?
No, that was my own inspiration.
Okay.
Got up like 2, 3 in the morning. I was like, just this writing mindset. I want to write something for people who really in space, who love to be an astronaut, a cosmonaut, whatever you call it. And I want to just write something very special for them. That's how it came to write Space Cadet Academy dedication. It was like 2, 3 in the morning. I was like just going wars and reading, and just came up with the ideas and reading about Elon Musk, which is the big inspiration for me. And I combine the knowledge, like how far we go into space. It'd be like 25 times the speed of sound. So that's how fast they go in a rocket when they go into space. If you're going out of the air atmosphere.
Right. Taryn, can you find a picture of, I know we've shown it before, but it's a picture of Earth, and the picture was taken by, I think, of one of the Voyagers.
I can look online real quick.
Okay. And just to give you guys an idea, I really like this idea of this new book that you're wanting to write. Now, this particular book is about how to become a waiter, and it can also translate to being a waitress. I saw a really cool mention that somebody shared with me that said a waiter or waitress is not, your servant. They're there to, they're trying to pay their bills, and they're people just like you. So treat them with respect, because, being a waiter and a waitress is not an easy job. Especially, you got to remember that people go to restaurants because they're hungry. And some people, and you know who you are, some people become very big jerks when they get hungry. And it's, you can't take it out on the waiters and the waitresses. So there's a picture. That little blue planet is Earth. And if we can get something that's a little, can you pull back on that? a little bit, Turn, so we can show that we are just a tiny, itty bitty, little tiny, sand. What was it called? Sand, grain of sand,
Yeah.
In the universe. And
Wow.
that's just one little tiny, we're just one little tiny planet, And when I was growing up, they kept trying to tell us, oh, there's only 9 planets, and that's not true, So that's why I think homeschooling is a lot better than public schooling in some cases, because if you learn it at home, you're going to learn the truth. So if you learn it in public schools, you're going to learn what they think you need to know. So please, open your mind a little bit. So, well, Juan, I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. I've got Doug Gray is here, and he's our fearless leader. If you're more than welcome to stay and watch the rest of the show, we'll be done in probably about 10 minutes. So thank you so much for coming and sharing. And folks, he's an immigrant, and like I said, unless you're Native American, you're an immigrant also. So please treat everybody kindly. I heard something really, really cool that you'll like this. I heard something really, really cool. Somebody was making fun of this immigrant, and the person that was next to the immigrant, that was a U.S. citizen, said, well, you know what? If you don't like this immigrant, then go back to England, because they were immigrants also. So anyway, let's go ahead and leave this one here.
Okay.
So people can, if you want to order that on Amazon, you can do that. And you can get that in a minute.
Okay.
So we'll be right back, and we're going to have Doug Gray here, our fearless leader.
Me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
And sharing with us. We'll be right back, kids. We're going to give you a video of something.
There was something about free speech before the internet, which is sort of a very, very expanded version of public access. It was the only way to connect with other people.
There's something completely unique about the Austin Access experience that I don't know if everyone fully, realizes that. There's this force out there that thinks everything should be privatized, and if it's not making money, it has no value. That's the real bugaboo. Like, who watches this, and what does it? It's like, well, who cares? That's not the point.
And when they say that the internet, is going to supersede it, or YouTube, or all that, it's never going to happen, because it doesn't provide what the day-to-day participation of the melding of the community in a place where they can fight together, and they can learn together, and they can progress together.
So you could be very topical. You can talk about things that are important in your community. You could address the community directly.
It's not quantifiable. It's not about selling ad space. There's not enough elements of our life that are divorced from commerciality.
Oh, we're back?
Yes,
Ah.
we're on the air.
All right. Hey, kids, we're
Uh-huh.
back with our fearless leader, Mr. Doug Gray. So
When you say it like that, everyone's going to think we're in a cult or something.
Oh, yeah. No, this isn't a cult. It's just a lot of fun, man. If you ever wanted to, do a TV show just like this or a podcast, this is the place to do it. If you don't, unless you're filthy rich, this is the place to do it. So, Doug, tell us a little bit about this past Sunday. You had a big gathering here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were celebrating 50 years of public access television.
Nice.
And so this facility that we're in here, the studio that we're in, was built in 1990, or ground broke in 1990.
Nice.
But in total, in Austin, public access television started in 1973. So the first cable cast is widely considered, I guess there's disputes there, but June 6th, 1973, on top of Mount Larson in West Austin.
Wow.
So they were up there going live, but then there were various files played back, or film, played back from Portapacks that they had recorded. So supposedly a live music recording was the first thing that was played back, which seems very Austin.
Nice.
But yeah, so celebrating 50 years, we had it was a total open house at the facility. So the city was celebrating 50 years with a proclamation. So I brought it here. So they proclaimed that June 2023 is Public Access Television Month. And so our role with me being with the Austin Film Society was to show what's still happening here, that it's not only still here, but it's thriving.
Right.
And that we have these state-of-the-art facilities for the community. And so we were doing a big open house, just showing off everything here.
Nice.
So, Doug, you could show that proclamation if we get close.
Yeah, 'cause we're gonna-
That way we can get the whole thing in there.
Yeah, because people will write us and say, why didn't you show it? Like, if I hadn't shown the back of your book one, people would write us and say, how come you didn't show the back? Show us the back of the book. So there's the proclamation. That is so awesome. I wanted to ask you, people are always asking me, and I never know the answer. What are the call letters for like Channel 10? Do you know? Or you probably do know, but
I mean, we don't, that I know of. I mean,
Really?
It's just public access television.
yeah. Somebody told me that there's call letters for Channel 10, Channel 11, and Channel 16, that each one has call letters. Never heard of it?
It wasn't given to me in my
Yeah.
general manager training, so I
Dude.
don't know that one.
People are always asking me, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, but I'll find out. So if anybody knows, please let us know.
Maybe someone with the city knows that.
yeah.
No, I don't.
That'd be kind of cool to find out what those
Yeah,
are.
so we're the head end for the cable channels that are going out to. So they go from here, they go to City Hall, and then they go from City Hall to the cable companies, and then they're responsible for distributing to the the viewers, the cable subscribers.
Yeah.
So anything that's more on the cable company end wouldn't be known or wouldn't be handled here.
Okay.
So maybe that's something that maybe more like Spectrum or Astound, which is Grande Communications, or AT&T Uverse know that we don't know.
So how many different companies carry this signal here?
So there's the three cable companies still
Okay.
in town. So there's Spectrum, there's Astound, which was Grande Communications, and then AT&T Uverse. And then we had been on Google Fiber, but they scrapped last, I think it was November, their cable platform entirely just to stick with fiber internet.
Wow.
And then we have, for Austin Public, we have an Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Android, and iPhone app that anyone, anywhere with internet and a device can download. But the cable channels go out to just the city limits.
Wow. Pretty cool, huh? So you see, a lot of people saw you, Juan. Nice. So Sunday, now Channel 10, I want to make sure I get this right. Channel 10 is the longest running
Continuously running public access channel in the country.
Channel 10, folks, here in Austin, Texas. So if you guys, tell us a little bit about like the improvements that you did lately in the last year.
Yeah, in the last year, I would say, really since COVID hit, we had a pretty good amount of capital expenses that had rolled over, and then we were shut down on site for an entire year.
Yeah.
And so we still get a pretty healthy budget from the cities through the cable companies for money that can only be used for capital expenses. So for the the cameras, the lights in here, the gear that goes out to people, check out of the building. So we, over the past, I would say 3 years, we've pretty much flipped the entire building. So Studio 1, which we're in, Studio 2, which is the medium size, we're both upgraded to 4K, compatibility with the control rooms, but the cameras in here, you can record up to 6K. And then Studio 3 got a little bit of a facelift. We added an audio production suite. We added a high-end professional edit suite that's used for our new Creative Careers workforce development program. We added new furniture to our admin area. We added new furniture to the edit lab. Got new furniture several months ago, but now it has brand new computers as of probably about a month ago. We just got new Mac Studios and Mac Minis in there. So we've pretty much upgraded everything possible except for what we don't have. And I don't know if you saw, but the hallway here in Studio 1, we put signs up for Sunday that I'll leave up that says coming soon or coming like late fall, probably early, I would say November, December timeframe. So it might roll into winter, but we want a green room and a hair and makeup room for the studio, dedicated to the studio.
Nice.
But I already got new lobby furniture is on the way here in the next month or so.
Nice.
So doing what I can. I'm just trying to flip the whole space. My philosophy right now is just sort of use the money to future-proof ourselves here for when the cable company money dries up, which it will eventually. But then the city and AFS will have to be creative about what other funding streams we can use to buy those to buy and upgrade resources. So it's not like what we have now will be what we have forever, but there will be a day when the cable company money is not there, or at least that current revenue stream. So.
Okay. Well, we also have rooms where people can do like a podcast also, and you can do a podcast in here, or you could do it in the smaller studio. Have a podcast just like Joe Rogan or whoever else is out there doing podcasts. So you can do that here also, and it's not expensive, folks. I mean, if you just stay home on Saturday night, if you spend as much money as I do when I go out, if you stay home on a Saturday night, dude, that's enough to cover you. And they teach you, they hold classes. In fact, a few minutes ago, you were in a class.
I was in a media policy class, yeah. It was actually to it was Pathway 1 of our workforce development program.
Nice.
So they were the 18 to 24-year-old range. It's a paid stipend program. They're in their last month of a 6-month program. So they're transitioning out of the internship phase where they interned in different departments within AFS.
Yeah.
And they're transitioning into, I don't know what the official term is because I'm not on that team, but more into the job placement, soft skills training, like resume building, interviewing type of stuff, and then eventual, helping them get jobs in the industry. So I was just giving them a talk, but yeah. So the Studio 3, if you're not on scholarship, receiving training for free, it's it's a $45 class in 3 hours, and then if you're paying either on scholarship, it's free to access, or you can pay $12 a month to then access that resource. You can use it up to 8 hours a week.
Nice.
So it's really accessible.
Nice. So. And they have computers here you can use. You can check them out if you need to. Turner's showing some pictures on here.
Yeah, so that was Creative Careers. So that'll be the next cycles start in mid to late September, and applications will open sometime in August. So if anybody's interested in being in a workforce development that's paid, it has wraparound services if needed, things like childcare, travel, things that have held people back from joining the industry, but also focuses on people who are underrepresented in the industry. So that is more focused on jobs in the industry, whereas the producer program is focused on you coming out and creating your own content with the resources, and then we help distribute that.
Nice. Well, folks, we're going to wrap up in about 15 seconds. Thank you, Juan Gomez, for coming and sharing with us. And thank you, Dougie, for coming and sharing with us. And please stay tuned. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Live. So peace in the Middle East. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Ta-da!
Yeah.